from Barker Brothers. Duh, 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 duh. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy King Gabe here on this lovely Saturday morning here. Uh, Once again, kind of a probably a little surprise to a lot of y'all, but as I think I've mentioned before that there are going to be some cases where I know usually it is in the evening for the live streams, but there are going to be some cases where uh, things might change up to where it be is a might is a still try to keep it to Saturday and Sunday, but might like hey, we're gonna go and do this in the morning. One reason why because this is the last day of my vacation, so figured why not. Also, got to get my haircut tonight. Now, of course, there have been times I've gotten my haircut and still did the live stream in the evening, but of course, I was at work, obviously, because I work most Saturday morning. So, but this is the last day of my vacation, so yeah, I figured make it a little easy for the day. It is possible that I could do a little bonus, some bonus reading, because obviously, any of these live streams are going to be pretty much to the hour mark. No, at least they won't go past the not at least not too far past the hour mark, so that way they won't be too long. So it's a possibility that I could come, come back here to read some more of it tonight. Just all depends on how things go. Like I say, and what the time be like and everything, and what all we got going on. But yeah, but if not, at least we've done it this morning. At least we got today. At least we got this one today. So if we do another one tonight, it'll just be a bonus. So yeah, so this is gonna be it's the main one going into Matilda, and chances another little heads up. There's a chance that I might even do the Bible reading stream a little earlier tomorrow. Not in the morning because, like I say, getting ready for I am off tomorrow, so obviously gonna be getting ready for church and everything, and a lot of other people will be doing the same thing ones that do go to church will be doing the same thing. So yeah, I don't want to cause be like, hey, watch me, but you're getting ready for church. Um, but what I mean by earlier, since we get out of church usually around like 11 to 12, so I probably get here about 12:30 tomorrow. So as soon as I get here, I'll probably do the Bible reading live stream. Right after church is out there. That way, because me and Christina, we got something that we're going to be something a little important that we're going to be taking care of. Kind of personal there, but yeah, but it's important though. So that way, Beaton also did that there, and like I say, had it have it done early. So just like we're doing with this one. So all right. So anyway, excuse me. Yep. So let's go on and get into this. There, like I said, get on into this, and I mentioned when I announced about this, posted this around that there was going to be somebody special coming up in this book that actually was not in the movie. Hmm. And you probably look at the picture on the thumbnail and everything, like, wait a minute, it can't possibly be Gabe. So, is it? You're about to find out. Okay, so let's dive right on in. The Hat and the Super Glue. Apparently, not the Cat in the Hat, but the Hat and the Super Glue. Remember, now we died. We now that definitely was in the movie. So here we go. The following morning, just before the father left for his beastly secondhand car garage, Matilda slipped into the cloakroom and hold of the of the hat, got hold of the hat that he wore each workday. Oh, before he left. Okay, they turn my sound down. They say please silence your cell phone during the movie. Well, silence your cell phone during the reading. At least for me, anyway, because don't want because of my ringtones. I don't want to get copyright struck now. They got at the moment I got a Darkwing Duck ringtone. Yeah. All right. So she had to stay on her toes to reach up as high as she could with a walking stick in order to hook the hat off the peg. And even then, she only just made it. And here's a little picture of that there. Yeah, it's been a now. It's been a while since I've seen the movie. Like I said, I remember a lot of it, like the fact that this is in there. But there are some details that kind of yeah, probably they have to rewatch because it's been a long time since I watched the Matilda movie. Um, I want to say that the way she got the hat in the movie is slightly a little different. Not a whole lot of different, but slightly a little different. I don't think she had. I don't think there was a cane involved, and a lot of that could be due to the casting for Matilda, Mara Wilson there, and also probably the way they had the set the things set up in the house and stuff in the movie version. So anyway, the hat itself was one of those flat top pork pie jobs with a jay's feather stuck in the hat brand, and Mr. Wormwood was very proud of it. He thought it gave him a rankish, daring look. I guess it's a daring salesman of mystery, especially when he wore it with at an angle with his loud checkered jacket and green tie. Matilda holding the hat in one hand and the thin tube of superglue in the other proceeded to squeeze a line of superglue neatly around the rim of the hat and carefully put the hat back on the peg with the walking stick. She timed this operation very carefully, applying the glue as her father was getting up from the breakfast table. And I gotta say that the fact of how the book describes how she did it, that that's actually kind of pretty impressive. I mean, think about it. She had to put the super. I mean, okay, she was very careful putting the super glue in the frame, obviously avoiding touching it because you know how it is when you touch when super glue gets on your skin. You're like, oh no! And I I may have had an accident with that once. Probably just on my hands. 'Cause, oh boy, yeah, you wouldn't. Yeah, it's not pretty. But I think yeah, and I think I was kind of able to, and I'm pretty sure I was able to get it washed off there real quick before it dried and stuff. But yeah, it's not. So yeah, you don't want to go through that. And little something to share with you guys. There was apparently I think there's a thing called super glue spray. Let me look it up here real quick. Let's see, hold on a second. Super glue spray. Also something like Peacemaker. Okay. Super glue spray. Okay, yes, there is a thing on super glue spray. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, right here. See, and the reason I mentioned about that because there was an incident where it was a lady, and how I found out about it was doubletoasted.com. Um, every so often, I still kind of I haven't looked at their channel as much as as much as I probably have done in the past there, but every so often it depends on what they're talking about. Mostly like possibly movies or and then sometimes like stuff that's just happening. Like hey, look what happened over here in Alabama, for example. But anyway, so Double Toasted YouTube channel, they mentioned about a lady who, oh, I don't know what she called herself trying to do to her hair, but she sprayed her hair uh, with super glue spray, and I get and apparent, and I get then she ended up having to go to the doctor. Why would you spray your hair in the first place with super glue? Why would you even spray that on yourself? It's super glue. I mean, super glue spray, but super glue. I wouldn't even want to get regular glue on me. I now, like I say, because you have to be careful, make sure kids don't spill regular glue on themselves, especially really small kids there. But so going back to the book, yeah, it's like, yeah, this is the fact that she had of how she had to put the hat back up there, so Mr. Wormwood wouldn't get suspicious. Yeah, like she had to probably arrange that in a way where not only she get it back on the hook, but also in a way where it wouldn't where the hook that holds the hat up doesn't touch the super glue and end up like say he come in there and then he can't get the hat off the hook. So yeah, that is pretty impressive there, Matilda. Mr. Wormwood didn't notice anything when he put the hat on. But when he arrived at the garage, he couldn't get it off. Super glue is very powerful stuff. So powerful it will take your it will take your skin off if you pull too hard. Yep. Yes, it will. Mr. Wormwood didn't want to he didn't want to be scalped, so he had to keep the hat on his head the whole day, even when he was putting the sawdust in the gearbox and fiddling with the mileage of the cars with his electric drill, sorry, electric drill. In effort to save face, he adopted a casual attitude, hoping that the staff would think that he actually meant to keep his hat on all day long, just for the heck of it, like gangsters do in the film. Yeah, we keeping these hats on. What you got? What's up? You gotta say something. You got something to say about this hat? I wish you would. Cause we gangster. Don't give me. Uh, yeah. Oh boy. Hold on. I'm replying to a comment here. Oh, reading it right. Okay. All right. Yeah. So yeah, like also I guess depending on how far back you go in time period, it also make me think of like the Grease, like like say the movie Grease, yeah, or the term the greasers, how the gangsters will have them leather jackets and stuff, and I guess perform a musical number. So they had a reference of that in in one of the SpongeBob episodes, like when he went missing in Kelp City, and then they also had that in me and Christina. We recently watched this. I think last week when we finished binge watching Garfield and Friends, and saw all the Garfield TV specials. Garfield on the town, the claws, when they we bad, we the claws, we tough, we the claws, we bad, we the claws, and we tough, we the claws. There we go, and then had like the Garfield's family got in on the song. It was going kind of back and forth, almost like a mashup. Like we're gonna fight, we you wanna beat us instead, can't beat us on our home ground. Yeah. Uh, the, yeah, the gangster films. Yeah. And oh, and say gangster film. Yeah. Like definitely like all the other term mafias. Okay, Sam, you got the goods. Here, get them right here. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, Mac, pay the man his money. Yes, yes. Now you know we can't have any connection with this now. Don't you go out there and tell nobody. Otherwise, we're gonna have to ice you. Okay? Forget about it. Now let me stroke my cat. Oh, get Fluffy a treat. Okay, now, get back here. When he got home, that it also kind of makes me wonder. Well, I guess he just wears the hat to like I guess when he comes to work, but not when he's doing the different stuff with the cars and stuff. I guess just for style, for his entrance to work. When he got home that evening, he still couldn't get the hat off. Don't don't be silly, said his wife. Come here, I'll take it off. Don't be silly. Come here, I'll take it off of you, she said. She gave the hat a sharp yank. Mr. Wormwood let out a yell that rattled the window pane. Ow, 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 he screamed. Don't do that, let go of you. Take the half of the skin. Take the half of the skin off my forehead. You're pulling the skin. Ow. The way he was yelling in the movie, especially when he first noticed that, because in the movie, um, she put and it was actually let's see what it said. Let me see if it says super. Okay, just super glue. In the movie, they decided to spice it up a little bit and say super glue. Um, I wonder if that's if super glue is the same as what we call gorilla glue nowadays. There, but yeah, because apparently in the movie they call it super glue. It was actually Mr. Wormwood was actually using it to put old parts on the car, or actually to call himself fixing the cars with super glue, like putting the bumpers back on and stuff like that. And he stated how they hold up, but then once the buyer gets the car, about anywhere between a few days to a week it will fall off and stuff. Yeah, so Matilda's like that's illegal, Dad. Yep. So when they had that little don't can't you sell good cars, Dad? After that thing, Matilda took the super glue he was using and put it in the brim of his hat. They got to the restaurant. It's like can't take it off, and Mrs. Wormwood tried to take it off of him, and he was like, "Ah, you're pulling the skin." Yeah, and it caused quite a scene there. Yeah. Oh, okay, okay. Oh, that's sweet. Mhm. Little little message from Janara there. Say, "Ooh," and it say, so yeah, so yeah, that's how it happened. That's what happened in the book. It there, yeah. It's like, ooh, it was talk about hectic there. And Matilda got a piece of cake. Mm. So when she gave the hat a sharp yank, Mr. Wormwood let out a yell. Oh yeah, okay, I read that part. Matilda, nestling in her usual chair, was watching the performance over the rim of her book with some interest. What's the matter, Daddy? She said. Has your head suddenly swollen or something? In what way do you mean? Yeah, because they you could say literally swollen, or you could say metaphorically like he's getting a big head with his ego. The father glared at his daughter with deep suspicion, but said nothing. Say, say, how could he? Miss, Mrs. Worm said, how could he? Mrs. Wormwood said to him, "It must be super glue. It couldn't be anything else. That'll teach you to play around with that nasty stuff. I expect you were trying to stick another feather on your hat." "I haven't touched the flaming stuff!" Mr. Wormwood shouted. It's like he turned and looked back again at Matilda, who looked back at him with innocent brown eyes. And I think in the movie he tried to make he said, "I did not glue my hat on my head. The fibers shrunk. The skin that fused to the foot. The skin is fused. What are you talking about?" Apparently, Mr. Wormwood was trying to be scientifical about the situation. Uh, Mrs. Wormwood said to him, "You should read the label. You should read the label on the tube, but you before you start messing with dangerous products. Always follow the instructions on the label." "What in heaven's name are you talking about, you stupid witch?" "Oh my God, Mr. Wormwood!" Yeah, he said witch, by the way. Like the wicked witch. I'll get you, my pretty. Now the thing, my reason I kind of jumped back because I have not heard him say that to Mrs. Wormwood in the movie. I didn't. I know he's not. I know he's a crooked guy and all, but I didn't think he'd ever call his wife a witch there. Oh boy. Oh yeah. More okay. Replying. Yeah. Replying to some posts that I made there in the story there. So, anywho, uh, so Mr. Wormwood shouting, clutching the brim of his hat to stop anyone from trying to pull it off again. Like, do you? You think I'm so? Like, you think I'm so stupid? I glue this thing in my head on purpose. And this is them trying to get the hat off here, and Matilda's looking. Matilda kind of reminds me of my mom when she was a little girl. When she was a little girl reading and she'd just be reading around the house there. Yeah. the Matilda Matilda said there's a boy down the road who got some super glue on his finger without knowing, and he put his finger in his and then he put his finger to his nose. Mr. Wormwood jumped. "What happened to him?" he spluttered. "The finger got stuck in his nose. He had to go around like that for a week." People kept saying to him, "Stop picking your nose," but he couldn't do anything about it. He looked like an awful fool. Oh, that's a mm. Now that's actually pretty bad. This kind of reminds me of something else, but I think the super glue thing is still worse. But the way she described it kind of make me think of Christmas Story. Remember the tongue on the pole? I can't get it out. They're stuck on the pole outside the schoolyard. The teacher had to come pull the kid off of the pole there. And like I say, another case, super glue still wins at being the worst situation out of what I'm naming. But I was in a stuck situation once with my jacket back in eighth grade. I was trying, and I don't know why, I don't know how or why, but wait, I think the zipper got broke on it, and I couldn't unzip the jacket or get it unzipped. I couldn't even pull it apart. Sometimes you could pull it apart and then it'd be hard to zip back up. So anyway, I had the jacket. So I was trying to pull the jacket from over my head, and it got stuck on my head. Got stuck in the jacket, and I was like, "Oh help!" And this was in eighth grade. This one I had the coach I had back in eighth grade was a former military sergeant. He's real tough and everything. But like I said, but he was still a good guy. He wasn't. yeah, he wasn't a bad person. Then he's just real tough on us because he's been in the army and stuff. So, but he was a real nice guy though. Yeah. So anyway, I was like, help, help, and he saw what was going on, and so he comes over there trying to get the jacket pulled off, and yet I think what it was why he was having trouble too because he probably was trying not to hurt my head or anything, but still get the coat off. So that's also was kind of a difficulty. So then he called over. He had to call over one of the students to help pull, like pull me back and him pull the other. He's like, oh, come on, we gotta get this going on. We're gonna get no more gate, just hang it there. We're gonna get off of you. And man, I was so glad to get out of that. Oh my God, man, it's and that. And it still don't compare to the super glue incident. But boy, having my head stuck in that jacket was bad. Oh boy. Serves him. Oh wait, that's Mrs. Wormwood. Serves him right, Mrs. Wormwood said. He shouldn't have put his finger up there in the first place. It's a nasty habit. If all children had super glue on their fingers, they stop doing it. Matilda said, grown-ups do it too, Mommy. I saw you doing it in the kitchen. Oh, Matilda roasted. Oh my God. They be talking about how like characters like Ash and stuff be roasting other characters like in Pokemon and stuff. Man, Matilda got run over. And the thing with Matilda, she's so polite and everything. So she politely roasted folks. Well, mostly her parents, yeah. Well, yeah, but they kind of have it coming. See, oh my goodness. Let's see. Oh boy. So yeah, that's Lord have mercy. I saw you doing it. Remind me of one of my cousins. We asked like, well, why you acting like that? And and he's like, I got it from you. So wait, you do it. Mm, that that's quite enough from you, Mrs. Wormwood said, turning pink. Mr. Wormwood had to keep his hat on all through supper in front of the television. He looked ridiculous, but he stayed silent. And I think in the movie they finally got the hat off right before they ate supper, though. Of course, he still looked ridiculous because he had pieces of the hat still on his head. When he went up to bed, he tried again to get the thing off, and so did his wife, but it wouldn't budge. How am I going to? He said, how am I going to have my shower? He demanded. You'll just have to do without it, won't you? Said his wife. And later on, she watched her skinny little husband soaking around the room in his purple striped pajamas with a pork pie hat on his head. It's kind of silly when you put it all together. Well, let me see, sulking around the bedroom with his purple striped pajamas with a pork pie. Oh, oh. Oh. Y'all should have warned me. It's been a while since I read this book, and it's I don't know how this sounded when I read it as a kid, but it's funny. This proceed. You just picture, just picture, just picture, this guy. Well, matter of fact, yeah, it's about the the boy that picking his nose and got stuck, and now he gotta walk. So man, he gotta go to. So now he got this hat stuck to his head while he got his pajamas. So I will say, I will say when I was a kid growing up, mostly in high school, but I think probably even like preteen and stuff like that. But but especially in high school, I always liked to wear caps, and I'm still like that, a cap person. I would wear you would if you saw like old home movies of me, like when I had my pajamas on, stuff like that, you would sometimes see that I still have my cap on with my pajamas, but see it wasn't stuck to my head. I put that up. I just wore that on purpose there. So, but I at least could take it off when I went to bed though. So he's got to sleep in this cap in this hat. Oh boy. Oh boy, now I'm like the clumps laughing. Oh boy. Hard. I'm trying to get through this with a poor, with a poor. She thought how stupid he was. Hardly the kind of man a wife dreams about. She told us. Oh boy. Oh, please get me through this. I want to get to the next chapter before I get to that hour mark, please. Please. I could now suddenly I can hear my granddad saying, "Gabe, stop laughing at that man with the hat on his head." Yeah, she'll say that, and then both of them be laughing. Oh, boy, me. Oh, boy. Ooh, like they do it, like they do it. Ooh. I thought there was something here I could fan with. Ooh. Oh boy. Mr. Wormwood discovered that the worst thing about having a permanent hat on his head was having to sleep in it. It was impossible to lie comfortably on the pillow. I imagine it was. Yeah, try just imagine if my cap was super glued to my head and I had that rim and I'm trying to sleep. I can't sleep. Mm. It was him sleeping it. Now, see, let's see, here's what. Now do stop fussing around, his wife said to him after he had been tossing and turning for an hour. I expect it'll be loose by the morning and then it'll slip off easily. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't loose by the morning. It wouldn't slip off. So Mrs. Wormwood took a pair of scissors and cut the thing off of his head. Oh, Lord. Bit by bit. First, first she cut the top, then the brim, then the inner band where it was stuck to the hair all around the sides and back. She had to chop the hair off right to the skin. Uh-oh. The skin, ouch! So they when she finished up with a say finished so she finished up with a bald white ring around his head like some sort of monk. Oh boy. He was he was bald, 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 bald. My eyes. Right. SpongeBob said we gotta laugh at ourselves. Ew. So band stuck. He had a, and in the front where the band had stuck directly to the bare skin, there remained a lot of small patches of brown, leathery stuff that no amount of washing would get off. Just look at it, look at it, look at him. Look, he's gonna cut all his hair. Oh, it's bad. What's look at it! Look at him! Look at him! I want all of you to look at him. Oh, yeah, that's from Something Smells and SpongeBob. And oh boy. At breakfast, Matilda said to him, "You must try to get those. You must try to get those bits off your forehead, Daddy. It looks like you got. It looks like you got little brown insects crawling about all over you. People will think you got lice." Oh my God! Any of y'all watching know about lice? Oh boy! First time I ever heard of lice was on an episode of Arthur. Ugh, that was they. I bet the characters were not too fond of that episode. Be quiet, the father snapped. Just keep your nasty little mouth shut, will ya? All in all, it was the most satisfactory exercise. But it was surely too much to hope that it taught the father a permanent lesson. And now, you thought that was something. Let's hear about the ghost. Ooh. Booga 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 booga. Well, as the Ghostbusters would say, I ain't scared of no ghosts. Mm. So there was a comparative calm in the Wormwood household for about a week after the superglue episode. Well, after the superglue episode, oh, an episode, huh? Last last time on Matilda, Mr. Wormwood got a hat stuck to his head, and he couldn't figure out the problem, nor could he get it off of his head. His wife tried and tried, but there was no avail. He was stuck with the hat off for 24 hours before his wife finally cut the hat off his head, but still leaving pieces of the damage. Dun dun dun. And now on to today's episode. little G1 Transformer reference. Mm-hmm. The experience had clearly chastened Mr. Wormwood. Chastened, I ain't heard that word in a long time. And he seemed temporarily to have lost his taste for boasting and bullying. Temporarily. Mm. I guess sort of like when you hear characters break the fourth wall, like, I won't do that again until the next episode. Then suddenly he struck again. Perhaps he had a bad day at the garage and didn't sell enough crummy secondhand cars. Or maybe somebody found out they were crummy and wanted to sue you. There were many things that make a man irritable when he arrives home from work in the evening, and a sensible wife will usually notice the storm signals and leave him alone until he simmers down. I know one thing that made him upset in the movie when he came home and the FBI agents they were undercover as speedboat salesmen and talking with Mrs. Wormwood, and it was all conversating and everything, and Mr. Wormwood showed up and got mad that these two guys were all with his wife and everything. Yeah, you never let me talk to anyone anymore. When Mr. Wormwood arrived back from the garage that evening, his face was as dark as a thundercloud. Uh-oh. And somebody was clearly for a high jump pretty soon. His wife recognized the signs immediately and made herself scarce. He then strode into the living room, Matilda happened to be curled up in an armchair in the corner, totally absorbed in a book. Mr. Wormwood switched on the television, screen lit up, and the program blared. Mr. Wormwood glared at Matilda. She hadn't moved. She had somehow trained herself now to block her ears to the ghastly sound of the dreaded box. And some of y'all might be wondering, well, why don't she just, read the book in the room and stuff like that? But I guess considering how demanding her dad is, I guess, it's like, okay, everybody, we come in this room and watch TV now. So that's probably why. Yeah. The program blared. She kept right on reading, and for some reason, this infuriated her father. Perhaps his anger was intensified because he saw her getting pleasure from something that was beyond his reach. Don't you ever stop reading? He snapped at her. Oh, hello, Daddy, she said pleasantly. Did you have a good day? What is this trash? He said, snatching the book from her hand. Oh, boy. And I know when he said this in the movie, he walked up to her. Excuse me, are you a part of this family? I said, are you a part of this family? TV time is family time. Oh, boy. It isn't trash, Daddy. It's lovely. It's called The Red Pony by John Steinbeck, an American writer. Why don't you try it? You'd love it. The Red Pony, huh? Okay. Built, said Mr. Wormwood. If it's by an American, it has to be built. That's all they write about. Hey, I think. Hey, so all American writers write filth, huh, Mr. Wormwood? Well, I'll have you know that I'm an African American writer, and I write Yumiko, Star Striker, and of course, before then, Heroes of Dreams, superheroes, and adventure fantasies. And I can assure you, they are not built. Teach you to talk about American readings. No, no, Daddy, it's beautiful. Honestly, it is. It's about. I don't want to know what it's about, Mr. Wormwood barked. He said he barked. Okay. I know he didn't literally bark, but it was just a little joke there. I wrote no wrote it kind of make me think of a joke Nostalgia Critic made about Zod from Man of Steel. Um, I think Angry Joe said it's like at least he doesn't. No, wait, he said, why does he sound like an angry pit bull when he speaks? You won't kill it yourself. You wanted a wolf, woof, woof. And then Angry Joe told the critic, well, at least he doesn't sound like a screaming goat when he yells. Hey, I do not. Hey, 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 hey. It's a bearded jerk. So anyway, back to Mr. Wormwood. Hey, I don't want to know what it's about. I'm fed up with all this reading anyway. Go and find yourself something useful to do. With frightening suddenness, he now began ripping the pages out of the book in handfuls, throwing them in the wastebasket. Matilda froze in horror. Her father kept going. There seemed to be a little doubt that the man felt some kind of jealousy. How dare she? How dare she? He seemed to be saying with each rip of the page. How dare she enjoy reading books when he couldn't? How dare she? Say, that's a library book, Matilda cried. It doesn't belong to me. I have to return it to Mrs. Phelps. Then you'll have to buy another one, won't you? Said the father said, still tearing out the pages. You'll have to save your little pocket money until there's enough in the kitty to buy a new one. Hey, a new one for your precious Miss Phelps, won't you? You went in the kitty, huh? Instead of piggy bank. With that, he dropped the now empty covers of the book into the basket and marched out of the room, leaving with the telly blaring. Most children in Matilda's place would have burst into floods of tears, but she didn't do this. She sat there very still and white and thoughtful. She seemed to know that neither crying or sulking ever got anyone anywhere. But it does make me wonder what would happen when she got to the library. She had and explaining this to the librarian. Oh boy. I know. In this day and time, but in reality, especially this day and time, yeah, yeah, they probably you probably would have heard about this. Probably would have heard about this on the internet, like over over in this local area, the father had ripped his child's library book. He is now being he, according to local news today, a father ripped the book of his child because he was angry about his day at work. He is now facing charges for paying for the book and also has to serve community service. And other news updates. So yeah, and it probably would have been on TikTok and stuff. They probably someone would have had a report of it on there. Mm. With that, he dropped. Oh yeah. So the only sensible thing you could do when you're attacked, as Napoleon once said, is to counterattack. Matilda's wonderfully subtle mind was already at work devising yet another suitable punishment for her poisonous parent. And of course, in the movie, this is when I think this was the first time her psychic powers activated, and she blew and out of her because her dad was forcing her to watch the TV, and her anger built up, and the TV blew up. So yeah, the plan that was now beginning to hatch in her mind depended on however upon whatever the let's see. Oh wait. Okay. Matilda's wonderfully subtle mind was already devising another suitable punishment for her poisonous parent. The plan that was now beginning to hatch in her mind depended, however, upon whether or not Fred's parent was really as good a talker as Fred made out. This is what we and this is Mr. Wormwood tearing the book up, by the way. And now we're about to hear about Fred. This is the character I was telling you guys about that we were getting to. Um, that would that was not meant that as far as I know wasn't mentioned in the movie. Um, and I'm think part of me I don't know about. I mean, it's possible I could do this. You never know what the future holds. But if I were to ever make like a remake of Matilda, whether it be like a play or a movie or a remake movie, probably have to probably, and I assume probably have to get some, sign some stuff, like permission to do it and stuff like that. But if I ever got that off the ground, chances are I'd probably bring this kid in here. And um, I probably would go the source material. I would probably go by. I might do a little bit of the movie, just a little bit, because I know about it too. But also, I probably would kind of go more so from the book there, stuff that wasn't that you didn't kind of the details of how the book presented a lot of this stuff here. So yeah, that's kind of what I would go by a little bit there. Mhm. Fred was a friend of Matilda's. He was a small boy of 6 who lived right around the corner from her. And this, so I could probably imagine myself as this Fred kid there if I was in the movie. For days he had been going on about his great talking parrot his father had given him. And there he is there with Fred there and the parrot. Yep. So the following afternoon, as soon as Mrs. Wormwood departed in her car for another session of bingo, Matilda set out to Fred's house to investigate. She knocked on the door and asked if he would be kind enough to show her the famous bird. Fred was delighted, and he led her up to his bedroom, where a truly magnificent blue and yellow parrot stood in a tall cage. There, Let's see. There it is, Fred said. His name. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna try to sound like how I sounded as a kid there, based on my home movies. There it is, Fred said. His name is Chipper. His name is Chopper. Can you make it talk? Matilda said. You can't make it talk, Fred said. You have to be patient. He'll talk. He'll talk when he feels like it. He'll talk when he feels like it. So why they saying it there? They hung around waiting. Suddenly, the parrot said, "Ah, hello, hello, hello." It was exactly like a human voice, but it's Matilda said, "That's amazing." What else can he say? Rattle my bones, rattle my bones. Let's see. I'm gonna do like Gilbert Godfrey for the parrot. Here we go. All right. Hello, 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 hello. Rattle my bones, rattle my bones. And the parrot giving a wonderful imitation of a spooky voice. Oh, spooky voice. Rattle my bones, rattle my bones, rattle my bones. He's on. He's always saying that, Fred told her. Well, what else can he say? Matilda asked. That's about it, Fred said. But it is pretty marvelous, don't you think? It's fabulous. Will you lend him to me for just one night? Matilda said. No, no, certainly not, Fred said. "Hey, I'll give you all my next week's pocket money." This was different. Fred thought about that for a few seconds. All right then, he said. If you promise to return them tomorrow. Matilda staggered back to her own empty house, carrying the cage with both hands. There was a large fireplace in the dining room, and she now set about wedging the cage up the chimney and out of sight. This wasn't easy, but she managed in the end. Wow. Just hope they don't turn that fireplace on there. And that's her putting it in the fireplace. It's not lit though. Just hopefully they don't light it or anything. Hello? Okay. Okay. Hello? 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 The bird called down to her. Shut up, you nut, Matilda said. She went to wash the soot off her hands. Man, if it was Gilbert Godfrey as the parrot, he'd probably be like, "Hey, it's kind of dark in here, kid. I don't like dark places like this. Get me out of here now! Come on!" Calm yourself, Iago. Yeah, I remember that. Boy, yeah. God rest his soul. He played a good character with that. I can't take it anymore. If I gotta choke down on one more of those moldy, disgusting crackers. Yeah, yeah. Calm yourself, Iago. Soon I'll be the Sultan, not that agitating tweet. And then I'll stuff the crackers down his throat. Ha ha! Okay. That evening, while the mother and father, the brother and Matilda were having supper as usual in the living room in front of the television, a voice came loud and clear from across the dining room hall. Hello! 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 Harry, cried her mother, turning white. There's someone in the house. I heard the voice. So did I, said the brother said. Matilda jumped up and switched the telly off. Shh, she said, listen. Of course she has to play along. They all stopped eating and sat there very tense, listening. Hello? 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 Came the voice again. There it is, cried the brother. It's burglars, hissed the mother. They're in the dining room. I think they are, the father said, sitting tight. Like, then go and catch him, Harry, hissed the mother. Go out and collar them red-handed. The father didn't move. He seemed in no hurry to dash off to be the hero. His face had turned gray. Mm. Get on with it, hissed the mother. They're probably after the silver. The husband, wiped his lips nervously with his napkin. Why don't we all go look together? He said, come on, then, the brother said. Come on, Mom. Hmm. They were definitely in the dining. They're definitely in the dining room, Matilda whispered. I'm sure they are. The mother grabbed the poker from the fireplace. The father took a golf club that was standing in the corner. The brother seized the table lamp, ripping the plug out of the socket. Matilda took a knife that she'd been eating with. Oh, okay, because she was using it earlier. Okay, knife she was, and with all four of them crept toward the dining room door, and the father keeping well behind the others. Hello, hello, hello! Cried the voice again. Come on, Matilda said. She burst into the room, brandishing her knife. Stick him up. We caught you. The others they followed her, waving their weapons. Then they stopped and stared down the room, but there was no one there. There's no one here, the father said, greatly relieved. I heard him, Harry, the mother shrieked, still quaking. I distinctly heard his voice. So did you. I'm certain I heard him, Matilda cried. He's in here somewhere. She began searching behind the sofa and the curtains. Then came the voice again, soft and spooky this time. Rattle my bones! Rattle my bones! They all. Oh, I forgot to show the picture here. All of them searching for the perpetrator. Almost kind of remind me of when Geppetto was looking around when Pinocchio first came to life. Like, who's there? It's me. Oh, it's me. Figaro, there's somebody in here. They all jumped, including Matilda, who was a pretty good actress. And yeah, pretty much. Especially when she's played by Mara Wilson. They stared around the room. There was still no one there. It's a ghost, Matilda said. Heaven, heaven help us, cried the mother, clutching her husband around the neck. I know there's a ghost, Matilda said. Say, I've heard I've heard it before. This room is haunted. I thought you knew that. Save us! The mother screamed, almost throttling her husband. I'm getting out of here! The mother said, grayer than ever. They all fled, slamming the door behind them. The next afternoon, Matilda managed to get a rather sooty and grumpy parrot down out the chimney without be out of the house without being seen. I guess they must have fed him before putting him up there. Mhm. She carried it all the way back, all the way through the back door, and ran all the way to Fred's house. Did it behave itself? Fred asked her. We had a lovely time with it, Matilda said. My parents adored it. Yeah, he was a real riot. he he was the life. Yeah, Fred. Your parent was the life of the party. So lively and scary. Let's see. I'm just seeing. Okay, so I'm gonna cut it there. I'm just seeing what's coming next there for the next reading. See, arithmetic, adding. Oh boy, here's that now. Okay, so All right. So that will be so next time. Be looking a little bit more. Look like there's gonna be some other things that Matilda will be doing to her dad before she starts school and everything. So like I say, for right now, that's it. I'm gonna go work on some other things, and like I say, I highly doubt it because I highly doubt it, but it is a possibility that I might possibly do a bonus stream tonight there after I get my hair cut and everything before going to bed. So, like I say, I'm just saying it's a maybe. So, just letting y'all know if I be here, y'all will know. If I don't, well, at least we, like I say, at least we've done this one. So, until then, like I say, definitely like, share, and subscribe, and definitely get our available books, and also definitely hit us up on that Patreon. Support us on the Patreon, just like Iceman Universe, and also support him and his excuse me, in order to see his reactions to Hey Arnold, Naruto, One Piece, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Spy Family, and Ed, Ed Eddie. And also definitely support the Miracle Crew. Say yours truly, King Gabe, Queen Tina, Big Sis Casey, Janara Nelson, and of course EJ the Supreme. And also definitely to hang out with us in the just like you hang out with us in these live streams. Also hang out with us in Discord and on Facebook. And we can sell just stuff in the McCary app. And without further ado, we will see y'all in the next video or live stream. Y'all take care, everybody.